Hello everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you the Aquário RP90, which is a radio designed for the 11-meter band, and I'll be demonstrating the functions of the radio's front panel as well as all the different menu functions, explaining how each feature operates and what they all mean. And we'll start here with the squelch volume. There's not much to say about it, is there? It just follows the usual pattern. The smaller button here is for volume, the larger one is for squelch. Here we have the RF gain control for signal reception, and right here the power gain control. Both of these are usually kept at their maximum setting, turned fully to the right, and over here we have the control to change the channel. And here we're changing the entire band. So right now I'm operating here on band D. This particular radio unit originally comes equipped with a total of 80 channels, which are carefully divided between bands D and E, with 40 channels allocated to each. However, it does offer the significant possibility of being fully unlocked to access all the remaining bands. In this specific situation, it has already been successfully unlocked. I will also be sure to provide an image detailing the precise step-by-step procedure that you can follow to unlock this particular version. You're going to change the jumper's position to the one you're seeing there on the screen, and this will unlock the other bands. If it's blocked with the factory settings, it will only allow band D and band E. Mais X e Y. So in this particular instance, I'm able to, because this unit is already completely unlocked, I can effortlessly change its operating band from A all the way through to J, which essentially covers a frequency range from 25 up to 30 megahertz approximately. Okay, we'll just leave it here on the D band. Another detail is that when you unlock it for the other bands, its power also increases. The normal AM power is approximately 6 watts from the factory. After unlocking, it goes up to 10 watts, which is the standard for larger radios. So in this case, it's already unlocked and you can use all the bands. Here on the right side, on the last button, we have the Clarifier button, which will allow you to make a fine adjustment of the frequency. Now, moving on to the panel buttons, here we have the function key. This button allows you to enter the radio menu. If you press and hold it for 2 seconds, or if you give it a quick tap, you'll activate the functions on the lower part of the button. So as you can see, each button here has 2 functions. In this specific case, the color function, if I just tap the button, it will change the display's color. And on the lower part, it activates the TOT, which is that specific control designed to limit the maximum transmission duration. So to access the secondary functions located below the keys, you'll need to press the function button along with the specific key whose bottom function you intend to use. This button activates the dual watch function, so you can monitor 2 channels at the same time. And at the bottom, it turns off the display, you see. So if I press menu and this button, it turns off the display, clearing all the information from it. To activate it once more, you press the function button along with the lower key. Here we have the button that initiates the radio scan feature, allowing it to continuously search for active frequencies where someone might be transmitting. You have the option to perform a comprehensive scan across all available channels, or alternatively, a more focused scan specifically of your pre-selected favorite channels list. So, to activate the normal scanning mode, you just press this button. For list scanning, you'll press the function button plus the scan button. On the right side here, we have the NB and lock button. If I just press this button, it activates the NB filter right here. Now, if I want to lock the radio's keypad, I simply press the function key along with the MB key. This action then completely locks the keypad, and after that, I'm unable to access or activate any of its functions. To unlock it, I press the menu button and then the dedicated key that's used to unlock the keyboard. Right next to it, we have the shortcut button for the emergency channel. So if I press it just once, it immediately switches to channel 9, and if I press it again, it will revert back to its normal operating function. And right below this, you'll find the control for activating the echo function. So if I press the function button along with this particular key, it will then activate the echo feature on the radio. The echo effect adjustment is done in the menu, which we'll explore a bit later. Down here, we have the plus 10 kHz button, which increases the frequency by 10 kHz. If I press it, an indicator will appear here, showing that the plus 10 function is activated. Typically, this will remain in the off position, okay? This particular button is used to activate the remote control channels. So, under normal circumstances, these remain completely turned off. Down here, at the bottom section, you'll find the high cut function, which is essentially a high pass filter designed to cut out high frequencies. To activate this feature, you simply press the menu button, followed by the filter button right here for the plus 10 setting. Then it will activate the function, clearly indicating it on the screen for you, alright? To deactivate it, press menu and the key, and finally we have the Roger beep activation, which is the transmission beep, and also the button beep, which is the sound it makes every time you press a button. So to activate the Roger beep, which is the transmission's audible signal, I can simply press the key here. It will then indicate whether it's currently active or not. And to disable or enable the key press beeps, I'll press the function key along with the beep key. This action will then turn off the key beep function. Alright? To activate it once more, I will press the menu button along with the beep button. So at this point, we are going to access the radio's main function menu. In order to enter this menu, I must press and then hold down the function button for a full 2 seconds. He's going to enter the menu. Here, within this menu, we have the option to change between different menus using this specific button. It goes all the way up to menu 29. These are 29 distinct functions. We are going to go through them one by one, and here you can change the settings for the function that you have selected. So here you select the function, and with this button right here you make the adjustment for the function, okay? And you need to be quick because it exits the menu very quickly. So if you don't press any button, it will exit the menu very quickly. So let's begin. I'm going to go in here again. The first function controls, I'll keep fiddling with it here so it doesn't exit the function. So the first function here, it controls the adjustment of the echo effect, okay? And here, in the next function, which is function 2, it adjusts the echo volume. So in the previous function, you adjust the effect, and in this function, you adjust the echo volume. In function number 3, you activate the noise reducer. Okay, by setting it here to on, it turns on, off, it turns it off. And then in function number 4, we also have the noise reducer. It just came up from the menu right here. So right here in function number 4, we have the adjustment for the noise reducers level. Okay, now function number 5, that would also be a feature that's related to noise reduction. But honestly, I truly couldn't perceive any noticeable difference whatsoever, whether I chose to activate this particular function or not. Function number 6, it controls the rod at which the frequency changes, that is, by how much it will shift the frequency when you engage the Clarifier function here. It comes from the factory at 10 Hz, so I'm going to leave it here at 10 Hz. Function number 7, it determines how this Clarify feature will operate, whether it will function solely for reception, solely for transmission, or for both reception and transmission, which is the current setting. So I'll leave it here as RT, indicating it operates on both reception and transmission. And here for function 8, we usually keep it here at...
So we're going to maintain it here on the STP option.
The 9th function is the automatic squelch control system. It can activate the automatic squelch function. Let me just turn it off here. The letters SQ will appear on the screen, or it will deactivate if you leave it in the off setting. For the time being, I will leave it in the off position. So here in function number 10, it determines the amount of time you'll set for that dot function that we previously discussed. This feature will establish a maximum duration you can transmit to prevent the radio from overheating. Alright? Each transmission, okay, it's not about the radio's usage. It's every time you press the PTT, it will begin a countdown, okay? It can go up to 600 seconds, okay? Generally, you can set it to 180, 210, or you can just turn it off if you don't want this limitation.
Function number 11. It will determine the specific kind of skin that the radio unit will perform, or more accurately, the particular scanning operation the radio will execute.
So if you leave it set here on the T1 function, it will then proceed to scan through all the available channels. And should it happen to detect a transmission, it will automatically pause its scanning so that you can clearly hear the transmission. Then after just a few moments, it will resume its scanning process once again. And if you leave it here in the SQ function, in the SQ option, it will stop once it detects a signal during the scanning process. And when it stops, it won't resume scanning automatically. Then you'll have to manually activate the scan once more.
So in this particular case, we're going to leave it on the SQ option.
So here in menu 12, you have the option to activate the radio's high SWR protection. In this specific case, we've selected the protection for the CW function, right? For when the radio is in CW mode. So if we leave it set to on, it will monitor the antenna's SWR in CW. Alright, so then we'll just leave this particular setting active here. Now in menu 13, it does precisely the same thing, which is the SWR monitoring, but specifically for AM, okay? So we're definitely going to keep that turned on as well. And then in menu 14, it performs the monitoring specifically for FM. We'll also keep it enabled here on FM for monitoring, and in menu 15 it monitors the SWR in USB, which will also keep enabled, and in menu 16 for LSB. So it monitors the SWR across all of the modes here, whether it's W, AM, FM, USB, or LSB. But you can also disable this feature in a specific mode if that's a better option for you. Right here in menu 17, it provides protection for the radio against both overvoltage and undervoltage conditions. Should the power supply voltage increase excessively, or conversely, if it drops too low, the radio will not be able to operate properly as it will engage its protective measures. Moving on to menu 18, this setting determines precisely what information will be displayed on the screen while you are actively transmitting. So right here we have, it's going to display the radio standard operating frequency. Then over here, it clearly indicates the battery's current voltage level. And right here, it shows the transmission time control, you know, that specific countdown timer that appears when you're actively transmitting. And finally, in this area, it displays the SWR, or rather the antenna's SWR reading, you see? So we'll leave it here on the standard setting, which is TF, so it can display the channel frequency. In menu 19, we adjust the Roger beep frequency. In this case, it's configured for 2000 kHz. All right. So you can actually change this. This is the actual tone of the beep. You can make it a beep that's more deep or perhaps more high pitched. All right. But right here at 2000 Hz, this right here is a very, very good value. Here, in menu number 20, you define the duration of the beep, the Roger beep. So in this section, you're going to determine if your beep sound will be a longer one or a shorter one. This specifically refers to the transmission beep, not the audible feedback you get from pressing the keys, alright? Therefore, you have the option to set a longer or a shorter beep by simply modifying this particular beep's duration right here. In function number 21, this setting allows you to define the CW volume level. So specifically, when you are operating in CW mode, it controls the volume level of the CW signal that comes out through your speaker, okay? And then, moving on to menu number 22, here you can precisely adjust the frequency of the CW tone. You have the flexibility to modify it right here, and the factory default setting for this is 1050. Menu 23, you can enable or disable the radio's talkback function, which is essentially the radio's audio feedback, right? Here, selecting on will activate it and off will disable it. I'll just leave it on for now.
In menu 24, you adjust the microphone gain setting, and this is done according to the specific mode you're currently using. So, right here in menu 24, you'll adjust the microphone gain specifically for AM mode, okay? It's currently set at 14, and it can go all the way up to 15. I'm going to leave it right here at 14. And then, in menu 25, you adjust the microphone gain specifically for FM. So, it's already at the highest setting at 15. In menu 26, you'll need to adjust the microphone gain for USB, specifically for the USB mode. It's also already set to maximum here. And in menu 27, you adjust the microphone gain for LSB mode, which is also already at its maximum here. Here in menu 28, you can adjust the volume of the key press beep. So if here it will increase the volume, and here it will make the volume lower. I will set it to 1, which is more comfortable. And the last menu here defines at what point the high SWR protection will kick in. So you can configure the SWR level it will accept, right? The standing wave ratio. So what you can do is actually input right here any numerical value that falls between the number 1 and 1 and 10. Well, I mean, that's quite a lot. So let's just leave it at the default setting here, which is 5, right? So I'll just leave it here at value 5. It's actually the actual value is even a bit lower than this, but I'm going to set a slightly larger tolerance here, which is exactly what was configured in the system. All right. And then we'll finish up the menu here, right? It reached the very last function, number 29. And then it automatically returns to the very first function. So, in this manner, you can easily adjust the various functions of your Aquario RP90 radio and other equivalent models. And right here, you'll find the radio's PTT. It's important to remember that this particular PTT unit allows for convenient channel switching directly on the device itself. On this middle button, you activate the automatic squelch, and this is a PTT. With an electret type of microphone. Okay, so don't go putting a PTT with a magnetic capsule there. It won't work. It won't be good. Okay, use the original PTT to ensure correct operation. Okay, everyone, so this is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.